Sometimes the air is so still out here that it reminds me of an old Western town. You know, being on Main Street and there's not a soul around other than a dog basking in the sun and the sound of flies. That's what it's like right here, right now. Other than the fact that we don't actually have tumbleweed. There's no tumbleweed in Alaska. We're one of only 2 states in America that doesn't have tumbleweed. But as I mentioned, we have flies. We have cluster flies right now. They're the precursor to mosquitoes. And while mosquitoes are definitely more annoying because they bite, the flies do not. They could care less about you or your pets. They don't even care about the food that you might have laying about. But when they're inside the cabin, they get trapped in the windows and in the screens because they're attracted to light and they're looking for a way out. And the buzzing, the constant buzzing noise that they make is annoying. But one of the other things that we have right now in Alaska are coyotes. And the coyotes are kind of annoying too. So anytime Kenai comes outside right now, I'm making sure that I am staying real close to him and keeping an eye on him because the coyotes have been coming close to the cabin. At night when I'm sitting up in the loft, you can hear them out the back door. Kenai doesn't seem to be too bothered by it. He doesn't really pay it any attention. Maybe he's used to the noise. But they're getting closer and closer every night. So I make sure that when he's outside, I am too. Like I said, I don't normally let him out of my sight. But right now, I'm making sure that I'm staying close and that I have a firearm with me in case I need to scare anything off. But it's really warm out here right now. I mean, as you can tell by how still the air is. Despite the fact that it is about 50 some degrees out here right now, the snow is still taking its sweet time in melting. There is still roughly about a foot of snow on the ground at the snow pole. And where the snow is mounded up, it's still a couple feet deep, if not more. Won't be long though, and everything will be coming up bright and green, just like this false strawberry that is the first thing that I've seen pop up out of the ground so far this spring. Those of you who have been wondering how Kenai is doing, he is doing wonderful. His UTI seems to have cleared up, and he has a follow-up appointment with the vet in a few days, and so we'll be heading back into town for that. But right now, he is just enjoying laying in the sunshine, having a dry place to lay outside. It is still quite muddy out here, so I'm very happy that he, though, has found some dry ground to lay on and get some belly rubs. Huh, you want belly rubs? Things here, though, are pretty drama-free. Unlike those Western scenes that I was mentioning where you just expect something dramatic to happen, there's no drama here. As I mentioned, he's on the mend, and so are some of my friends and relatives. Over the past few weeks, there has been a number of incidents away from the cabin, luckily. Family members falling and breaking a hip, others that have passed away unexpectedly. And a friend of mine here in Alaska has been in the hospital for the last few days. And so I've been taking care of their home and their pet, looking after everything while they're away. But they're on the mend as well. So that's all well and said. But with that also being said, I have some mending to do on the inside. So let's head inside and I'll show you what I got going on. This hutch right here needs to go on top of this desk, but I can't just set it on there because there's no supporting railing here. These railings I've shown in the past are very loose, very wobbly, and so I'm going to flip this desk over and see if I can attach the hutch to it. by putting some supporting beams on the back. I'm going to have to ask somebody to come over and help me lift this hutch up onto the desk because it is incredibly heavy. I cannot lift it, but it's been blocking what will be my ironing table when I get this all set up in here. And I have a ton of fabric just stashed everywhere that I need to get put away and get this room clean so I can use it. I have some clothes that need mending. And this desk will be my gun cleaning station. This desk is going to get a little bit of a makeover too. It's got a couple of issues with it. The first issue that I have is right here. You can see that this part is level and then it slants down. So I'll be putting a false top on here with some support braces underneath it here to make it level. And then I'm going to replace these knobs. I don't like these knobs. I don't think they're very fitting of the desk. And hello, Kenai. What are you doing? And I'm going to take these corks off of here. I'm not exactly sure what the previous owner used this for. Maybe it was their fly tying station. I don't know. But the corks and the knobs have got to go. So first thing I need to do is flip this so I can get to the back of it and see if I can get underneath it. And I better take this drawer out because the drawer is going to fall forward as I flip the desk. Okay, now that the drawer is out, I'm going to flip this over and see if I can even get to a place on the back of it to put those supporting beams on. For those of you who always think I'm not doing my own stuff around here, I'm a lot stronger than I might appear to be. Now the trick is to not smash my toes while doing this. Ooh, there went something. All right, now I'm going to crawl behind here and just see what I have going on the back of this and figure out where I can attach something that's a loose nail. Maybe I have to replace that. But yeah, and then I need to go downstairs and find some hardware to attach. I'm just going to use 2x4s, I think, to put some braces on the back. All right, let me get on the back side of this, see what I got going on. Well, one thing I have for sure back here is a mess that needs swept up. There's a ton of dog hair on the floor because I couldn't get back here with the desk in place. But I definitely have room to get in here and do it against this. Looks like it's just some rough sawn 1/2-inch plywood or lumber here. I don't think it's plywood actually. I think it's actual lumber. So that's good. But I'm going to get the vacuum up here and get all this cleaned up. Let me show you the inside of this so you can see what I'm working against. Flipping this over really gives me a chance to see what I've got going on with this desk. This piece is warped and popped out, so it needs to be fixed. And then as I come over here, I see this, which I don't know if it's part of the original wood or if it's a support beam. I think it's a piece of supporting wood that has broken free. So that needs to be fixed. As you can see, lots of cobwebs in there. I apologize for the noise of the fans in the background, but I have the wood stove going. A friend of mine in the community who has helped me out a lot over the last couple of years is in the hospital right now. And so I've been taking care of their home, and they come home tonight and I'm going to bring them a home cooked meal so they don't have to cook once they get there. So apologies for the fans, but like I mentioned, it's about 50 degrees outside. One thing I wanted to say about this desk was I could flip this over like, 180 degrees from what it is now so that this is on the floor after I get those 2x4s on there and what have you, put the hutch on myself and then put it up. But there's no way I can do that by myself. So again, I'm going to have to ask somebody to come help me with that. But let's head downstairs, find the 2x4s and also some hardware so that I can attach it to this and fix all the little issues that are going on underneath this desk. Come on, come downstairs. Come here. Ugh, he doesn't like it down here. You're probably There are some of you out there probably like me that have old coffee cans just full of old bolts and screws and what have you. I definitely am guilty of that. I just collect old hardware and throw it in a tub and save it for who knows what. But I also have, you know, boxes of actual hardware as well. So I need to figure out exactly what I'm looking for and make sure that it's going to work. I would like to have some bolts like this used as opposed to screws, because I want to attach it from the inside as well to make sure it's really secure. So on the hunt I go. Well, I got 3 different types, and I'm going through 2x4s and 1/2-inch plywood. And I need to find the washers and nuts for this as well. In order to figure out if my bolts are going to work for me, I need to get a proper measurement. So in order to do that, I'm just going to sandwich 2 2x4s on this piece of plywood, and I'm just using a vice clamp that I picked up at a garage sale. You know me, I love garage sales, and believe it or not, I got this for $1. I don't know how much they are in the stores, but can't be a deal of $1. So now that this is on here, I'm going to take one of those bolts that I found downstairs. I actually have a whole box of these, and see if it's long enough. It is just barely long enough. I'll get a close-up of this so you can see. But there's only about 1/2 inch or less hanging out on the other side of this. I might still try to make it work, but I might have to find a different bolt. So I need to cut my 2x4s for this. So I've already taken my measurement from here. And then I just need to measure from here. So 44. I have to cut off 20 inches off of a 2x4 in order to make this work. Which happens to be the same length of these pieces of scrap that I have. So I know, based upon this piece of scrap, that I can bolt, because I'm going to put one underneath and one on, and then the 2x4 on top. So I'll just put a bolt in here and a bolt in here from underneath. But then I still need to attach the hutch to the top of the desk. And I'm going to need, again, somebody with longer arms than I have, because I cannot reach the end of the desk, and I'm going to need to ratchet from one end to the other, and it's going to take 2 people, one person on the top and one person underneath. So, let's see what I can get done. Why does everything have to be a bigger project than I ever want it to be? I never do anything the simple way. Oh, and I've already shown cutting the 2x4 so many times, or wood so many times on my saw. I'm not going to show that, but I'll meet you back up here. So the reason that I kept going up and down like I was is because the wood fibers, they're going to get caught up in your drill bit. And if you just keep going, all that's going to do is create some friction in there, and it's going to start to burn. You're actually going to create more of an issue for yourself. So I kept raising it, and then I would just blow away the sawdust that was caught up in the drill bit. In this case, it didn't blow away, so I'm going to go ahead, shut it off like I just did, and now I'm going to just brush that away. This is my not my grandfather's. This was my father's drill press. I'm not that proficient at it, as you can tell, but it is a great tool to have. So if you ever get the opportunity to inherit some tools, especially something like this, jump on it, because you never know when you're going to need it. So it probably would have been quicker for me to do this with a hand drill, but the reason I use the drill press is because I needed to make sure that these holes were straight. If they were misaligned in any way, this wouldn't work. So I'm going to mark these boards so I know face to face which way they need to go. And then I'll put this together. Luckily, the way I'm doing it, I don't need to get all the way up inside of here. For those of you wondering why I wasn't wearing gloves when using the drill press, if you've ever seen Orange County Choppers in the scene where he gets his glove caught up in it, that is the whole reason why I didn't wear gloves. Besides that, I wasn't moving that fast with the drill press, as you saw. So safety first always, but also you have to think about what the safety gear that you're going to use, what precautions you need to take with it as well. All right, now I just need to wait for someone to come help me put the top on. And while I do that, let's go add some vegetables to that oxtail soup I'm making for my friend. I don't know exactly what took me so long to get this room done. I feel like I've been dragging my feet on projects all winter long. But when I sit and think about it, it was the fact that I got hurt at the beginning of winter. I fell down those stairs and I broke my foot, and that set me back a good couple of months. And as I've mentioned before, there are just some things that you cannot do on your own. So when it comes to putting that hutch on top of the desk, or even working on my kitchen counter, I'm kind of at the mercy of others. The kitchen counter butcher block is actually sitting on my dining room table right now, and there is no way that I'm going to attempt to turn that butcher block over while it's on my kitchen table. Yes, I could do it when it was sitting on the countertop, but I don't want to damage my kitchen table in an effort of trying to flip over that huge piece of butcher block. So I'm just waiting for somebody to come over and help me flip that so I can finish it on both sides and then get the kitchen completed and show you the complete walkthrough. At some point, I'll be doing a complete walkthrough of the whole cabin and showing you every room step by step and showing you all the things that I've done to turn this old cabin into this beautiful home that I'm trying to achieve. So bear with me, folks. I'll get there eventually. Well, after much cleaning, this room is almost all put together, including the desk. And as I mentioned, this will be my gun cleaning station. It's almost like it was custom made to exactly what I needed. Now, it wasn't. This is an antique desk. But as you can see, that unit fits in there perfectly. And all these cubbies are going to come in handy for holding odds and ends. So I was able to get someone to come over and help me put it together. And like I said about needing a false top on it, I just went ahead and put on a piece of 1/2-inch paintable plywood and then supported it with a 2x4 underneath. And I've got it almost all set up. I need to get some other stuff out of storage and then it'll be ready to go. I will eventually be staining and sealing the top of this piece of paintable plywood. And I'll be getting a working mat on here as well, so that if ever I want to use this for something other than cleaning my guns, I have a clean area in which to do crafts or what have you. But on the back of it, I hung my grandmother's quilt. This quilt my grandmother made in 1937, and I've had it for years just sitting in storage, so it's nice to finally have it up on display. Now, half of it will be hidden once I get the new railings put up, but it looks a lot better than the back of the blank desk did. And I just hung it over a couple of cedar planks that I have sandwiched together with a bolt. and then I draped a piece of, or a sheet behind it to protect it from any leaching from the wood. I want to protect this as much as possible. As you can see, it has a little bit of staining on it, some tears in the fabric, but I've had this quilt in storage for a number of years, and I'm very happy that I get to hang it up and view it from the lower part of the cabin. And then, of course, Kenai's emergency harness is hung here. The only thing that I have left to do in here, I need to build this ironing table. So this is just an old oak table that I have covered in some batting, some cotton batting, a reflective cloth, and then I need to find a piece of canvas my mom sent me, and I'll be tucking this underneath, stapling it underneath, and then this will be, like I said, an ironing table in here. And then I need to set up my sewing machine. Well, in pulling the machine out of its case, I actually broke the thread spindle, and I just dropped a piece of it. So give me 1 second here. So unfortunately, it's just a piece of plastic and it completely snapped off. So I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to fix that, especially considering it's on this molded actuating arm right here. So I might have to order a new piece, see if I can do that. But this is an integral part to this machine. So this little table behind me, though, here is actually the base to a treadle sewing machine. So you can see I have one antique machine up here. I have another one over there. That's a Singer. This one is a Yukon. I cannot find any information on the Yukon. I've not seen another one of these ever. I've looked and looked and looked, and I cannot find any information on this. I know this one is from the mid 1800s or late 1800s, but nonetheless, I have a repair kit so that I can get this foot treadle hooked up to one of these machines, and then no power is needed to do this. But I have some other things to show you downstairs. So let's head downstairs real quick, and I'll show you what I got going on down there. So I got quite a few little gifts this week in the mail. And the first one was a variety of hot sauces, Louisiana hot sauces, in fact, from Monica Lynn at Alaska My Heart. She has a cute little channel, and she loves to post some recipes on her community page. So if you haven't checked out her channel yet, I'll leave a link to her down below. And then I also received a package of some medicinal herb seeds, but I did not get a packing slip with this, so I don't know who these are from. So if you are the individual who sent these in, thank you very much. I greatly appreciate it. Maybe leave me a comment and let me know who this was so I can say thank you personally. And then I also received from Scott's Life a book about herbs. I am very happy to have this. I love reference guides. For all of you that are asking what I like to read, reference guides are it for me. So thank you, Scott's Life, for this. He also has a channel where he didn't build, but he bought a small cabin, and then he's refurbishing it and building up the land around it. So be sure to check out his channel. Also, a link will be in the description of this video. And then my friend back in Colorado, she sent me a caribou hide. This is a juvenile caribou hide, very soft, very nice. So I just need to find a place to hang this in the cabin. So very happy to have that. This is something I've been wanting. One of the reasons why I went to Ferrandi was to look for a hide. I know there are a lot of you that are not fans of the hides sales and what have you, the fur auctions, but just know the fur auction that I showed in that video was actually put on by the Alaska Department of Wildlife, where they auction off the hides from game that has been poached. So it puts to good use the hides that people have taken the animals illegally. And if you're gonna hunt, in my opinion, you need to use as much of that animal as possible, as opposed to letting it go to waste. So I'm off my soapbox, but thank you to my friend back in Colorado. She was very thoughtful in sending me this hide. And then I received some lovely gifts from an individual who asked to be completely anonymous. And they did ask that I don't share the gifts or anything like that. But I want to say thank you nonetheless. You know who you are. I appreciate it. And also my hair is sticking up in the back and looking rather funny every time I turn my head. Apologies. But they sent me this screenshot of Sass walking behind the window. And when I saw it, I got a good giggle out of it because it looks rather realistic. I'll capture the same moment in time as he captured this, but it looks a little too realistic to be just edited in. So this was completely post filming. I did edit it. It's not a real Sasquatch, though there might be one out there in the woods. You just never know. But speaking about out there in the woods, I need to take that soup, which is now sitting on the stove. It's cooled off enough that I can transport it to my sick friend. So I'm going to get Kenai gathered up and let's head off for a short little drive. You want to go bye-bye? Where's your harness? Where is it? Where is it? Do you see it? What's this? Is this your harness? Yeah, that's your harness. Did you see how he looks for it? He knows. Hey, you ready? Are you ready? All right. On your mark. Get set. Go. To the car. Well, it is still really sunny outside right now. And the driveway is so rutted and so muddy. I'm stopped in front of the cabin before I drive off. But I just wanted to let everybody know that I know a lot of you worry about me driving and filming, but not to worry because the camera is actually connected to the rearview mirror. So any movement that you see is done post-edit. I don't actually move the camera while driving very often. I can make it zoom in on something or pan around if need be. So any movement I do, like I said, though, is just no different than adjusting your rear view mirror. But, yes. And for those of you wondering why I wasn't wearing gloves, are you kidding me? Camera malfunction. Sorry about that. You're in the way. I'm trying to go up there. Go upstairs. Right, puppy dog? Say, right, Mom. Well, you can hear Kenai barking. I was going to try to get him, but he's on the other side of the car. Oh, there he goes. He won't sit still in the car. Thank you for joining me today and putting up with all of my antics, as well as that of Kenai. I hope you enjoyed today's video. There will be more construction coming up soon, so stick with me. And if you haven't already, please make sure that you're subscribed. And remember to give this video a thumbs up if you found it interesting or entertaining. And I will hope to see you on the next one. Until next time, please stay safe and take care.